Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Next to Madison. I am your host, Madison Malloy, and on today's episode, nobody is next to me. I'm actually going to be doing this one solo. I wanted to come on here and talk about mindset. I've been working a lot with mindset, and it is just so important, as it really dictates every result we see in our life. Our mindset determines our income, the health of our relationships, the health of our bodies, really everything. Everything that is either working in your life or not working in your life boils down to your mindset. And unfortunately, a lot of us have limiting subconscious beliefs that we don't realize that we're making every decision from. And I've been studying about this a lot. I've written about it in my book. Working with Proctor Gallagher has been amazing. And it is so, what it has shown me is just how powerful your mindset is.
Hey, it's Madison Malloy. I just wanted to remind you to make sure you grab a copy of my book, Time to Lighten the Fuck Up. It is a great, funny self-help book that is going to help you get out of your own way. I have already helped thousands and thousands of people, and they are on their way to living their dream life, and I want every listener to be able to live their dream life as well. So grab a copy of the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or even the audiobook on Audible. Now back to the show.
Your mindset, your language, your thoughts, they all dictate your life, okay? So, for example, dating, okay? There's a lot of people that I talk to who are dating, and they will tell me things like, dating is hard. There's no good men. There's no good women. It's very frustrating. I don't like it. These guys are bad, whatever it is. And I tell them, you've really got to be careful saying that because you're attracting more of that to you. I know we like to express our frustrations and maybe make jokes, especially when it comes to the dating field. I've done that for years, but it's important that we think and we talk more about how we want the results to show up. So if you are a single woman or male, you need to say things like, I'm so excited. The one is out there for me. There are plenty of good people out there for me today that are eligible. I am so excited now that I'm attracting the right people into my life. It's these subtle shifts that will make such a massive difference. Again, when it comes to even your income. Okay. If you're saying, I just need to make X amount of dollars per month to cover my bills and have a little bit of fun and put some money away, and whatever that number is determined in your mindset, well, that's probably the number you're going to make. And you're not going to get much past that until we start shifting our mindset and shifting our language around that. So, for example, something could be like, I always have more money than I need. Abundance is my birthright. Money comes to me in all forms. I make money when I sleep. Instead of just having that number, or at least raise that number so you can start raising that vibration to bring more of those opportunities into you. I love talking about mindset, and I know I'm kind of rambling, but I wanted to just get on here because it has just been something that has changed my life. When I changed my language around money, I changed my language around relationships, everything started to change. The opportunities started coming into abundance. The people showing up in my life were absolutely amazing, and how quickly it really does happen. So if you're somebody who is struggling with your income, your relationships, your health, whatever it is, start really working on focusing your mindset and shifting your mindset. And one of the things is when we go into fear or a scarcity mindset where there's not enough of something, even not enough good people to date, that is scarcity mindset. It revolves and relates to more than just money. So you want to just say, no, there's an abundance of whatever I want. There's an abundance of health. There's an abundance of wealth. There's an abundance of love. And just really believe that. The other thing I always tell, my clients I talk to is I tell them, it is so important right before you go to bed is when your brain enters that theta state. And it's important to visualize what you want, like it's playing on a movie screen. Really live out your dream life right before you go to bed, because that's when your subconscious is being programmed. And that is where the majority of our decisions happen, is in the subconscious mind, and we don't even realize it. So now that you're listening to this, you are aware. So start going to bed, visualizing that light, visualizing that strong mindset. And you will be amazed at how quickly these things come in. And also start walking, holding, getting ready, talking, however it is, like that person that you're trying to become, this abundant, vibrant, amazing person. You can live that dream life by feeling that it's already yours. And that's what's so important about manifestations. I know we've talked about it on this podcast numerous times, is to put it into the present tense. Okay. So whatever it is, but it all boils down to mindset. But as we're starting to visualize our life, stepping into our power, living the way we want to live, we are going to naturally start shifting that mindset. So I just want to encourage everybody. This is going to be a shorter episode, but I want to encourage everybody just to realize, kind of write down, do an exercise, write down the things that aren't necessarily working in your life, where you're struggling. Is it work? Is it love? Is it health? Is it friendships, family, whatever it is? Okay. And then I want you to start to pinpoint and notice the thoughts and the language and how you're talking around those things. Are you getting together with your girlfriends or your guy friends and saying, dating sucks, these people are mean, there's nobody left, I'm too old? Well, that language is just as powerful as you thinking that stuff. Okay. So start to shift that around. Also with your job, when you get to Friday and you're really excited and you're like, oh, I hate my job, but at least it's the weekend. That is a huge sign that something needs to change. Okay. So start saying, you know what, there's a better opportunity out there for me. And I know it's coming to me because I expect it. I expect miracles in my life. That's another thing. Start expecting miracles. If you're not getting the body you want, if you're struggling with your weight, it can have a direct correlation with your mindset. Start thinking, you know what? I don't need to be skinny. I don't need to be a model. I don't need to fit this ideal photoshopped image that you see on Instagram. No, you don't. What you need to be is healthy and strong, whatever that means to you. So I would encourage everybody just to get strong and say, you know what? If my two legs work, if my arms work, I am going to the gym and I'm going to get strong, because the more physically strong we are, it can help to become more mentally strong. They all work together. And it's also important to make sure you're focusing on your health. This is a vehicle. Would you put crappy gas in your car if you had a nice car? You would not. So start watching the food that you're putting into your body. There's some supplements I've been taking. I put it on my Instagram. You can follow me at Real Madison Malloy. If you are not, definitely do that. That I've talked about in the past. I've talked about NAC, which has been life-saving. It is a free radical protection that I have. For those of you watching the YouTube, it's right here. It's amazing. I highly recommend you pick this up. This is great for immunity. It also boosts your energy level so you don't feel as tired. I also recently got on NAD, which is NMN, and very excited for this because this is supposed to be kind of DNA repair and age reversal. And then also making sure you're getting vitamin D. You don't want to get all your vitamin D from sun because you can get skin cancer. You want to make sure you're wearing that SPF, but make sure you're taking a vitamin D supplement as well. It can impact everything from your mood and also prevention for cancer. And make sure zinc is another one I really like to take, boost your immune system. But what I found is when I feel a little blue, zinc actually helps combat that bad mood for me. So those are some things I like to take. Magnesium is another one, because in order to have a strong mindset, we need to have a strong body. Everything works in harmony together. So if you are somebody who is struggling in your life, which I'm sure everybody listening to this, we struggle in some ways, don't beat yourself up. But I really want you and encourage you to start paying attention to what it is and how you're talking. And you might catch yourself saying, I had no idea I was doing this. I'll share a story with you, okay? When I was doing a lot of stand-up comedy, I would do a lot of self-deprecating humor. And I would do that to just kind of offset if people, thought I didn't want to be egotistical. I didn't want to, toot my own horn. So I would degrade myself on stage in the form of a joke. And it's very common for comedians to do. But in the comedy community, there's a lot of depression and mental health. And it's a hard job, hard industry. But there's a lot of joy in it. We bring a lot of joy to people. And I loved doing stand-up. And when I get up on stage, I still love it. I actually love it even more now that it's not my primary focus. But I would get up 5 to 7 times a week, and I would be literally bashing myself in front of hundreds of strangers. And I didn't realize at that time, I said, what was going on? I was doing everything I could. I was working hard. I was going to the gym. I was trying to eat healthy, but my self-esteem was just in the gutter. But my language was awful. And so when I pinpointed that, I started to shift those jokes to where I wasn't bashing myself, or I'd spin it in a way to where it was actually making me look better versus making me look like I'm degrading myself, because that's not confident at all. And speaking of confidence, because that's a big part of your mindset too, if you want to have good confidence, you need to have an unbreakable mindset. That's for success. When people compliment you on your skin, your hair, your clothes, whatever it is, instead of saying, oh, really? Because we tend to do that because we want to degrade ourselves. We don't know how to take a compliment anymore. You need to say thank you. They went out of their way to do it. So I encourage all of you, next time somebody gives you a compliment, say thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And another thing you can do is to make sure you're complimenting other people and making their day, holding the door open, buying a coffee if you can, just complimenting them. That's going to help build your confidence as well. And also, not only health, but making sure that, your hair is groomed, you're in clothes that fit you well, you are taking care of your skin, whatever it is you can do to make yourself look and feel better. It all goes together, but it really starts with that mindset. So if you're not where you want to be in life in any area, start writing down the areas you're struggling in and start noticing the language and the thoughts you have around those areas, because they're probably what you're subconsciously doing is actually attracting more of that to you. And we don't want to do that. And another thing I want to talk about as well is when we are waiting for something big, whether it's a big relationship, a big job, a new apartment, a new home, a new car, whatever it is that we want. Sometimes we will default to a negative thought because we want to brace ourselves in case it doesn't work out. Well, if I think about it and I understand it, I'll get it and this will be fine. All you're doing is just attracting more of that to you. So I want to encourage all of you as well to start expecting things to go well and only think about that positive outcome. And as I've said before on some of my videos on my Instagram, my social medias, make sure to follow me. Life is happening for you. It's not happening to you. To you is a weak mindset. It's a victim mindset. For you is a positive growth mindset. Not everything goes our way, but it teaches us something and it redirects us in a positive direction. I encourage everybody to expect miracles. If you need more help getting out of your way, you can pick up a copy of my book, Time to Lighten the F Up. I know I'm not just self-promoting myself. This book was actually a guide that I put out into the world because I was somebody who struggled with a weak mindset, low self-esteem, depressive thoughts, and just could not break free from paycheck to paycheck life. And once I was able to just limit these shackles that were holding me back, I had to put it in a book. It was kind of like my gift to the world. And so if you haven't picked that up, I would definitely encourage you. If you know somebody who's struggling, I made it funny because my brand was more comedy. I made it raunchy because I felt that that was my brand. And also when you have a group joke, sometimes you can remember them and retain more of that information. But I know I'm rambling on here, but there's a lot that goes into having an unbreakable mindset because it is so, so important. So I definitely want to encourage you guys to eat healthy, get your butt to the gym, be active, because that will help your mindset. It will help your confidence. Everything goes together. And if you're somebody who's making $50,000 a year, but you want to make 150,000 or even 500,000 or $1 million, you've got to change your mindset. As Bob Proctor is very famous, said, he talks about the paradigm, which is a collection of our thoughts and our beliefs that are stored in our subconscious mind. You can't outperform that paradigm or that self-image. You have to change it. So if you're going from 50 to 500,000, let's say, if that's your goal, you really need to change that mindset to have the mindset become $500,000. Really change how you look at yourself, how you feel, start acting as if it happened already. And that's going to bring that stuff in faster. And you always have to know the goal, but you don't need to know the how. And I can tell you there are so many specific things in my life. I knew I had a goal that I wanted to inspire people and help them live a better life after all the struggle I had been through. And I knew that was my mission. I didn't know exactly how it would come or what shape it would be. Started with the podcast, bringing in great conversations, a podcast to make you happier, healthier, and wealthier. And from there, I just stuck to the mission. Okay. I was bringing joy on stage, but it led to my book. I got encouraged to do the book. It's leading to more books. It's leading to positive, inspirational projects that I'll be announcing soon. I didn't know the how, and I couldn't have even thought about the how, but I knew I had the goal. And when I developed a strong mindset, I knew no matter what obstacle or delay was in my way, that I was going to get there. And that's what a strong mindset will do for you. So I want everyone to be living their best lives and realize that, and I've said this on my social, we are all on our deathbed. We are, because we don't know when our time is up. And you've got to make the most of every day and opportunity. And if you're somebody who's struggling and you can't get past something, I encourage you to go into a coaching program, find a mentor that's been there, listen to this podcast, read self-help books. There's so much great information out there. And not only your language and your thoughts, this just came up for me, also be aware of what you're watching and what you're listening to. A lot of our music has a great beat as we're walking down the street, but if you really start listening to the words, it has a pretty negative undertone. A lot of songs about heartbreak, and we wonder why there's so much damn heartbreak in relationships. These can manifest. Also, I'm a big proponent of shutting off the news. Get the business news you need, especially if you're trading in the markets. Just have an awareness of what's going on in the world, but don't obsess over it. Okay. I don't really watch the news anymore. I don't. And my life has been so much better. I used to get upset and I sometimes would say, oh my gosh, our world's falling apart. Now I'm aware, but I don't obsess over it. I don't make it part of my life. I try to fill my life with positive thoughts, positive actions, eating healthy, getting to the gym, whatever I can do to make my life the best, because the only control I actually really have is my life. But you also have to understand that you're not always in control of everything, and to kind of let it go and go with the flow. So that is my mindset tip of the day. I wanted to run this as an episode because I kept saying, I've got to talk about mindset. I've got to talk about mindset. But we are going to have so many great episodes coming up the end of August and into September that are talking about not only mindset, but how to get what you want out of life, how to start bringing in abundance. I've got some of the most world-renowned success coaches coming on this podcast. You are not going to want to miss this. And if you guys could do me a massive favor and share this or tell 5 friends about this podcast, write me a rating or review. I would love that. It helps us get the word out so I can continue bringing amazing information. I am so thankful for everybody who listens to this podcast. I couldn't do it without you. It has been over 4 years and we are just getting started. But if you could share, that would be very helpful, because in this world, we all need help. And sometimes we're afraid to ask and we don't get what we want because we don't. So if you guys could do me a solid, I would love that. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And we will see you next time to find out who's next.